Let's set up a couple of pages in my fiber journal. Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Tori, and today we're going to be working in my fiber journal. This journal is a place where I plan to keep track of any fiber related hobbies that I have. So sewing, crocheting, embroidery, things like that, where I can document essentially that project and just kind of have a photo record of it. I am going to be using some of Paper Minty Studio's newest release. I have, I think, almost everything from the release. Not everything, but I've got quite a bit. And I will be using that for all of my decoration, in addition to using my brand new Fiber Arts stamp that is available in my Etsy shop if you are interested in checking either of those out. I will link Paper Minty Studio's website below and my Etsy shop below for you if, like I said, you are interested. So we're just going to add a couple of pages here at the beginning of my journal, and then I'm going to set up my very first review page for a project that I am currently working on. The pages that I am wanting to add to the beginning here is going to be a projects page and an idea page. And essentially, my plan for this is going to be to treat my projects page almost like an index page that you would find in a regular bullet journal. However, I just cannot be bothered to number all of these pages, so I'm probably not going to be using it in a traditional way. I do want to have a list of all of the projects that I've got in the journal, that I've documented, but again, I don't want to go through and number all of the pages and then kind of link to those. So I will probably separate my journal into years, similarly to how I do with my yearly collections journal. And this list will hold all of the 2025 projects. I may add some additional details to this page. That part I haven't fully decided, like if I'm going to put like a rating or the dates or something like that. I haven't fully decided on that part yet, but at the very least, this page will hold just the name of the project once I have completed it. So I am currently working on one project right now. And once that project is completed, I will just essentially add it to this ongoing list of project names. The next page is going to be my ideas page. And for this page, it's going to also be an ongoing list for 2025. And I'm going to write down basically any ideas for fiber related hobbies that I have. And an example of this would be that I do want to create my own traveler's notebook insert with some of the really fun fabric that I have. So I am going to add that to this ideas list because I haven't actually planned anything out for that just yet. But it is going to take a little bit of prep work in order for me to do that because I will have to create essentially a pattern for myself to follow to make that traveler's notebook insert. So that's going to be the type of stuff that I will have on this ideas page. For the decoration of these two pages, I did use the first washi tape that I shared from Paper Minty Studio, and this is kind of like a quilt like washi, and it's a very neutral washi, and I really like it, and I thought it would be perfect for this journal because hello, I'm playing with fabric in here. So I am using that for the main decorations for the 3 pages that I'll be creating today. And then I'm also pulling out a couple of those die cut stickers and placing them on either corner of each of the spreads. I'm going to color in my titles with just a Tombow marker, and unfortunately I cannot remember the color name or number for this marker because I have smudged it off because I've used it so much. So it is one of the brown ones, like 942 or 949 or something like that. I probably just made those numbers up, so don't search those, but one of those kinds of numbers. But yeah, I don't remember the name of it. I am going to pull out my stamp set again, and I'm going to start adding some of these fiber hobby related stamps to my page. I did not like the way that I stamped those scissors out, so I'm going to re-stamp that on some standard sticker paper and just fussy cut that out and placed it over the first stamp that I did. And then I will kind of just sprinkle some additional stamps around my page just to tie in those fiber hobbies. One of the things that I'm really excited for about this particular journal is once I start getting the review pages in here, I am really excited to have these types of crafts and hobbies listed in one place in a notebook that I can flip through and just kind of see a photo or something like that. A lot of these types of things, like over the years, I have to actually go through and search like my Facebook or my Instagram or whatever to even find any type of fiber related hobbies that I do and see like the end result. And a lot of times I give these projects away as gifts. So if I don't have an easy way to view that photo, I forget that I did it. So the purpose of this journal is just going to be tracking those projects, and I'm going to be taking at least one picture of each project to print out and put on like my little review pages. And then in my stamp set, I've got some additional details that I can use for documenting. So there is going to be a stamp that says, like if I made the project based off of a kit, a pattern, or if it was like self-drafted, something like that. And then if it was made for myself or if I made it as a gift for somebody else. And then just some other general details about like the project itself. So I'm really, really excited to have a way to document these. And it being a way that I love to document things in general because I do love writing and paper crafting and all that good stuff. So I'm really excited for this journal. So I will finish up these 2 pages here before we move on to the first review page setup. And I'm just going to be adding in a bunch more stamping and then highlighting every other row with my Tombow N89 brush pen. The last thing I'm doing on these 2 pages is doing an every other line highlight with that Tombow N89 brush pen. And then we will be moving on to complete my very first review page for a project that I have been working on for quite some time. Since this is going to be the first review page in this journal, it will come together quite quickly because I'm not 100% sure usually until I start doing the actual documenting of all of the things that I want to include in each page. I will add some more washi tape to either side of this single page as my primary decoration for the whole setup, but I am going to do it a little bit differently than I did on the previous pages. So I'm adding it 1 dot grid space in, and then I'm ripping that washi tape right down the middle so that the page itself has kind of a border to separate it from the following page. And I also have a little bit of that ripped edge look that I love. I'm going to trim that down so that it matches the actual size of the page, and then we will move right along to actually getting the kind of bones of this page fully set up. I do draw like a very large box in the top right hand corner of this page, and that box is there essentially to house the photo of the finished project that I will ultimately end up taking once everything is said and done. And I just wanted to have that space kind of fully ready since I was setting this page up. Probably in the future, I won't actually set up the review pages until I have the project finished. But again, I just kind of wanted to set something up for myself to have an idea of what I might want to do. I pulled out some of the word stamps from the stamp set. This first one is like a pattern kit or self-drafted like stamp to document kind of how I got like the pattern or whatever to actually make the thing. And then I have a gifted or made for me stamp. And then I'm also going to be using a date started and date completed, and then a project stamp so that I can put the project name on the stamp or on the page as well, or the name that I'm going to end up giving the project. And then I also have a heart rating system instead of a star rating system for this particular stamp set. And it's essentially just going to be 5 unfilled hearts that I can use to color in to give my project a rating. So how many hearts or how much I loved it essentially when it was done. So I will add that right after project, and then underneath that project title or section title, I am going to very not well hand letter out the project itself. I am also going to stamp out some yarn down at the bottom of the page, as well as a crochet hook. This very first project that I plan to document in here is actually a Woobles crochet kit that I received as a gift. It is of Voldemort and Nagini. So I am going to check off that it's a kit and that I'm making it for myself. And then I will hand letter Woobles, Voldemort, and Nagini underneath my project like heart area. And I'm also going to highlight every other line down where I think I might want to write about the project and everything that took place and how long it took me to do, how complicated it was, and really just kind of any memories that I have associated with this project. Since I do already know that it's a kit and it's being made for me, I did go ahead and just check those off. And then I'm going to letter out my title of the project as well. Once I get that name done though, I am done with my couple of pages that I'm adding to my fiber journal today. I would love to know your thoughts down in the comments below, and if this is a journal that you have to track any type of fiber arts that you do. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!